A federal mediator has been called in to resolve the Clifford Jacobs labor dispute. Find out why factory employees have been locked out for over a month.
Also, a virtual reality pilot program is coming to U of I to show students how to take a more proactive role in preventing sexual assault.
Plus, a local church hosted their annual wellness fair to help community members without health insurance. Your UI7 Newsbreak starts right now.
From the Richmond Journalism Teaching Studio at the University of Illinois campus, this is your UI7 Newsbreak, your U of I news source.
Good afternoon and welcome to UI7 Newsbreak. I'm V. Shahab.
And I'm Kelsey Labatkin. Union negotiations at the Clifford Jacobs Forging Company in Champaign have been at a standstill for over a month. Workers want better pay and are fighting the company's plan to cut benefits. This week, the company brought in federal mediator to move the process forward.
We have Kathleen Foley in the studio with us, who met with union reps stationed outside the factory.
Thanks, V. Last week, I talked to union reps about their fight for a fair contract and had the chance to see the conditions they face outside the factory. Contract negotiations between the Clifford Jacobs Forging Factory and 3 separate unions have remained at a standstill.
Everybody's union. We have machinist union, electricians union, and boiler maker union.
After rejecting an offer from the Canadian-owned company, 70 workers were locked out of work. Literally.
We were surprised because we came to work one day and we're locked out. We had voted down the contract and came to work to continue to negotiate after the contract had expired, and we just got locked out.
Workers at the Clifford Jacobs factory in Champaign have been locked out of work for nearly a month. Since then, they have had weeks of contract negotiations and will continue to do so until their needs have been met. After a few weeks of stalled work, the company has brought in what union workers claim are less qualified workers.
Basement workers that do this for a living, they cross the picket lines and lockout lines.
What we do is kind of specific, just not anyone can come in and pick it up. So they had to look farther away than here to find people that knew how to operate certain machines.
These workers are fighting for better pay and better benefits, while the company is fighting for no pay increase and reduced company health insurance, as well as reduced pension contributions.
We just want a fair contract. We don't want to take a loss in everything. Negative numbers we don't want.
Clifford Jacobs refused to comment to UI7 Newsbreak, but according to the News Gazette, Human Resources Manager Jeff Baker stated that the workers were only locked out after the unions authorized a strike, because the company did not expect them to come back to work. Negotiations scheduled for last Wednesday were unsuccessful. Since then, they have called in a federal mediator to take control of the situation. Meanwhile, the union workers will remain outside the factory waiting for their contracts to be decided. For UI7 Newsbreak, I'm Kathleen Foley.
And in other Champaign news, Willard Airport is looking to include new destinations. According to the News Gazette, Willard's new executive director, Gene Cossey, is looking to expand the airline destinations to both the East and West Coast. Cossey accepted this job because he believes the airport is not taking full advantage of their resources. Although Cossey has not done a lot of research as of yet, he is looking to expand to Denver and Charlotte. Currently, Willard Airport has 5 daily round-trip flights to Chicago O'Hare and 1 to Dallas-Fort Worth. An extra flight to and from Chicago will also be available from November 5th through the end of the month.
The University of Illinois has partnered with the National It's On Us campaign to implement a new program. UI7 Newsbreak's Caroline Ann has more on how the virtual viewing of an assault scenario is changing both male and female views on sexual violence.
Student volunteers place on a headset in order to view the Sundance film, The Party. The film has no graphic material, but clearly shows an assault taking place.
It was frightening. I was terrified the whole time I was in her view. It was like my heart was pounding.
The Illinois Student Senate was approached by the national campaign as one of 3 selected universities to pilot this approach. The virtual headset is unique because of the different perspectives it gives to its viewers. Student Senate Vice President Matt Hill and the Student Advisory Board wanted to participate because of the approach the virtual headset uses to raise awareness. Hill thinks the multiple perspectives will impact students.
It uses virtual reality to immerse students in a film about consent where they see it from half of it from the perspective of the female and half of it from the perspective of the male.
Hill hopes to give all students this viewing opportunity, especially freshmen who may not have experienced situations like this before.
Being able to give them this experience virtually hopefully will inspire them to, be more active bystanders, when they're actually in reality at a party or something.
Counselors were on site to help any students who were upset by the film.
It's very different than anything I've experienced before. I've advocated for sexual assault many times, but I think, experiencing it was something totally different, and, being in the victim's shoes as well as the attacker was a great combination of both.
The national It's On Us campaign hopes to launch nationwide next semester. In Urbana, Caroline Ann, UI7 Newsbreak.
The University of Illinois and Carle Hospital are working together to make the College of Medicine a reality. Last fall, the University and Carle Hospital announced plans to establish an independent engineering-based medical college. A contract signed this week will begin collaborative research between the two institutions.
So this is important not only to the College of Medicine, but both organizations as a whole. The agreement applies, to the broader Carle and Illinois campuses that really promote translation of research from the laboratory bench to the point of care delivery.
The agreement entails a governing structure to set the research strategy, as well as a committee that will identify different innovative opportunities in medicine. Banks hopes that this plan helps Carle to provide better, more improved care at a lower cost to patients.
And now all of us at UI7 Newsbreak would like to take a moment to remember fellow U of I journalism student Brett Lerner, who was killed in a car accident. Over 750 students gathered Thursday to honor the 20-year-old aspiring sports broadcaster. Zeta Beta Tau fraternity hosted a candlelight vigil to honor the life and memory of their brother. The vigil started off with speeches from Lerner's fraternity brothers, beloved rabbi, and former teacher. Many spoke of the junior's fierce work ethic, way with words, and love for football, especially the New York Jets. The vigil was just one of many commemorations that have taken place since his death, including a moment of silence before the Illini homecoming game. His initials, BL, were displayed on an intramural football field before his fraternity's annual game Friday. Rabbi Dovit Teichtel believes that Lerner's memory lives on through the kindness of those who knew and loved him.
I want everyone to take a little bit of Brett and put it in their heart. And through them, and through each and every one of you, he'll continue to live on.
Every one of us here tonight can do.
We'll be right back.
Ballerina.
Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again. Take time to be a dad today.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
I come from a big family. I'm the oldest of 6. To me, being the first person to go to college, it's like setting a standard, you know? My little brother is 8 years old now. I challenge his curiosity. I challenge him to dream. I have to paint a picture for him that he can look up to and live up to and possibly be better than. My name is Jaquez, and I am your dividend.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
Welcome back to UI7 Newsbreak. Several years ago, the Church of the Living God in Champaign kicked off a monthly love clinic where people in the community can go for any sort of medical assistance. The church decided to expand this program one step further. On the last Saturday of the month, from January through October, the church hosts an event where community members can receive a range of free services from diabetes screenings to filling drug prescriptions. Event coordinator Andrea Newman says last year they decided to have the final love clinic of the year be bigger than all the others.
And that's where the community health clinic extended wellness fair came into play. Last year was the first year. It actually wasn't in this facility because this facility is brand new.
Newman reached out to people in the community, getting vendors to share information on breast cancer awareness, childcare, and maintaining a healthy lifestyle. She is thrilled about how successful the event is and the new vendors that she brought in this year, including the blood bank. Newman says this program is a really big help to the community.
Just this morning, someone walked right in. She goes, "I don't have insurance. Can I get my teeth cleaned?" Yes, you can today, and get them checked. And then they follow up behind them through the Parkland Dental Education Program, and they can continue that going without insurance.
Outreach coordinator from Vicenna Community Healthcare, Rachel Waldemer, enjoys having a booth at this event.
So it's great to have these large fairs where you have a huge confluence of different organizations all telling people what they offer at the same time. And it's fun. You get to meet new people. There's face painting over at that booth. It's just a good time.
Waldemer taught kids and adults about good nutrition and basic lung health. But the event is more than just educating the community about health awareness.
I like knowing that we're able to do what our pastor had always wanted us to do, which be a beacon of comfort and hope for the people in the community.
In Champaign, Kelsey Labatkin, UI7 Newsbreak.
With the cold season approaching, many people are getting hit with coughs and runny noses. There's no cure for the common cold, but there are still ways to help fight the symptoms. Pharmacists usually recommend ibuprofen and naproxen as the best products in helping fight a cold. However, the type of symptoms will ultimately determine what medications are best to take. If you have symptoms that persist for more than a week, pharmacists say it is best to visit your doctor. They also say to be cautious and avoid driving while under the influence of medications that make you drowsy.
The Mahomet Family Dentistry had a beneficial way to get rid of families' extra Halloween candy this year. Their 4th annual Halloween candy buyback kicked off Tuesday night. Children and their families gathered to weigh in on their candy and traded in for $1 per pound. Mahomet Family Dentistry teamed up with Operation Gratitude, who sends care packages to soldiers for this event. They will send all of the candy collected to our U.S. troops in mid-November. The office even provided a station for children to write a thank you letter to our soldiers. Other event highlights included popcorn, cider, and a bouncy house for the children. A raffle was also provided to auction off dental items. 209 pounds of candy was collected. The Mahomet Family Dentistry says they are happy to give back to the community in any way that they can.
Back in Champaign, Centennial High School hosted a dance marathon this weekend for charity. The theme was Trunk or Treating, an alternative take on typical Halloween festivities. Centennial High School hosted their 4th annual Trunk or Treat this past weekend. The school's organization, Dance Marathon, does this event to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. Last year, they raised $120,000. Children scored sweet treats from the trunks of cars, and Centennial students dressed as Disney film characters. As children filled their goodie bags, their parents were asked to give donations. Volunteers say that this event was a fun way for children to dress up and for parents to give back to the community. That's all for this week's UI7 Newsbreak.
Thanks, and have a wonderful day.
From the Richmond Journalism Teaching Studio at the University of Illinois campus, this is your UI7 Newsbreak, your U of I news source.